Hi, everyone. Today I'm going to be doing the Synastry chart between Ethan Chapin and his girlfriend, Xana Kernodle. They were both murdered in Idaho. I'm sure you're familiar with the case. When I did this Synastry chart, I was shocked at what I found. I've done so many Synastry charts, and I haven't seen something like this ever. But before I get started, if you need a Synastry chart, my email is in the description box, and hit the subscribe button if you're interested in hearing about more Synastry charts. Now, I do have his accurate time of birth, and there was a lot of things that actually popped up in their charts together, specifically on the angles and the luminaries, which are the most important parts of a compatibility chart. Now, the first thing that I noticed was her Thisbe conjuncts his moon, 0 degrees. That's the tightest orb. And his Paramus conjuncts her moon, 2 degrees. Now, if you're not familiar with Paramus and Thisbe, I'll give you a brief synopsis. Thisbe and Paramus were ill-fated lovers from Ovid's Metamorphoses, and it tells the tale of a young couple that were forbidden to wed because of rivalry between the families. Now, when the dying Paramus, who was stabbed by a sword, he opened his eyes after being mortally wounded and looked at Thisbe, and her heart was broken. And so with the same sword that was used on him, she stabbed herself, and the lovers died together. Now, I'm not saying that they committed suicide, but the correlation between these two are eerily familiar. They were both stabbed together, but by the same weapon. They died together, and it was a tragedy. So if you're interested in learning more about that fated love affair, you can find it on Google. So since it conjuncts the luminaries, the moon, one of the most important parts, and the orbs are really tight, it tells the story, and there's more in the Synastry chart. Her Lacrimosa, Osiris, conjuncts his ascendant and the asteroid finale, 2 degrees. And like I said before, the ascendant is a very important angle in a compatibility chart. Whatever touches your ascendant from the other person, you will receive those energies. And in this case, what did she bring into the relationship? Lacrimosa has to do with tears, crying, suffering. Osiris is Egyptian god of the dead, and it conjuncts his finale asteroid, which has to do with endings. Now, I'm not saying it's her fault, and I'm not saying it's his fault either. But when you have a compatibility chart, it's like two pieces of a puzzle, and you put them together, and the energies signify with the relationship, what will happen in the relationship between the two of you. Now, her Lacrimosa and Osiris, this is in the sign of Aries, and Aries is ruled by Mars. Mars has to do with weapons. Now, her Hammurabi asteroid conjuncts his north node, 0 degrees. Whatever conjuncts your north node from the other person, that will signify the theme of the relationship between the two of you eventually. And in this case, Hammurabi has to do with eye for an eye or tooth for a tooth. And it has to do with justice being served. So I would have to say that whoever murdered this person, whoever murdered these two, it had to do with retaliation, and there was like a revenge mode going on. And there's other asteroids in this chart that signify that as well. Now, her Sun and Dolores conjuncts his IC and Lachesis, 2 degrees. The IC, another very important angle in a compatibility chart. It opposes the midheaven. So whatever asteroids or planets conjunct your IC from the other person, this will happen behind the scenes and more than likely at home, because it's on the cusp of the fourth house, and that rules home or where you live. So her sun conjuncting his IC, that's a nice placement, but Dolores is there as well, and that has to do with pain and suffering. And it's conjuncting his asteroid Lachesis, which is a death marker. So this translates into a death behind the scenes with pain and suffering involved. Now I'm going to get to the other part of the chart where the murder, this signifies the murder and retaliation. On his in his birth chart at the midheaven, we have the asteroids Nessus, Deianira, and Tisiphone conjuncting his midheaven 2 degrees. Nessus has to do with abuse. Deianira has to do with victimhood, and Tisiphone has to do with murder through retaliation. All of these asteroids are also conjuncting her Nessus and Tisiphone. So this is one unfortunate, huge tragedy. We have victimhood on both sides, abuse, murder, and retaliation. And since it's conjuncting the midheaven, this means that the whole world will see the effects of this unfortunate circumstance. Now, on his conjuncting his descendant from her is the asteroid Rest in Peace, and it's at 1 degree. So again, another death marker. Now, conjuncting his vertex from her is an asteroid called Stabia, and that has to do with stabbing. The vertex is a very important point of a compatibility chart. You will receive those energies. So in both cases here, like I said, with Paramus and Thisbe, here there's stabbing, and it's conjuncting his vertex and his Mars. And Mars has to do, like I said before, weapons and anger. Also, her Asbalis conjuncts his point of fortune, 1 degree. It's an Arabic lot. It's called point of fortune. So in this case, obviously it's not a fortunate circumstance. That's just what the Arabic lot is called in a natal chart. It's like a mini Jupiter, and it magnifies whatever it touches. So her Asbolus asteroid, that has to do with mystery, secrets, and taboo. So obviously in this case, there's a lot of secrets and mystery that hasn't been solved yet. I don't know how long that's going to take. I looked at the event chart, and it's going to take a while. That's what the chart is telling me. I might upload that, but not right away, because other astrologers and tarot card readers have gone over that, and I don't want to jump on that bandwagon. I don't think it's appropriate at this time. Now, moving forward, her Ixion, that's the murder asteroid, and Phaedra, that also has to do with tragedy. It's conjuncting his south node. That's also important. It's opposite the north node, so the energies will show up. Now, Ixion and Phaedra is also conjuncting his Ixion murder asteroid as well with the asteroid Eta. And Eta has to do with a tragic love, eternal love that lasts until death do us part. So that's all I have. And I really hope that they find the person that murdered these students. And it's just tragic. But I hope you have a nice day, and thanks for watching.